Although the final line for Eury Perez wasn't great, I'm here to tell you that there's nothing to worry about.
You are Locked On Marlins, your daily podcast on the Miami Marlins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Marlins. I'm your host, Jeremiah Geiger. I've been podcasting about this team for 3 seasons now. Go hit me up on X at Jeremiah Geiger 2. And thank you for making Locked On Marlins your first listen of the day. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is your team every day. Don't forget to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel and let me know your thoughts in the comments section. And on today's show, I'm going to talk about Eury Perez and his season debut. It's the first time he's pitched in 2 years, 2 seasons. It's been a long time. Don't be worried. It's only going to get better from here. Ryan Weathers goes down. He's on the 6-day injured list with a lat injury. That's really unfortunate. It's a brutal blow for him and the rotation. And I'm also going to talk about, are the Marlins possibly cursed? Yes. Break down a legend, a possible curse that the Marlins might find themselves in. But before all that, I want to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So Eury Perez made his season debut for the Marlins against the Pirates. It started off in a rain delay, about a 40-minute rain delay till first pitch, and the players could start playing. You know, you don't want to play in rainy, bad weather, but they got a complete game. They finished it, and unfortunately, the final result was that the Pirates won, and they won pretty handily. They take care of business against the Marlins. They win 10-3, drops Miami now to 24-40. So they're 16 games under 500. Not really where you want to be as a team, but in the larger picture, this game was all about the season debut of one of the game's young premier talents at the pitching position, and that's Eury Perez. 628 days ago, he last pitched in a Marlins uniform on a big league mound. And then he was shut down at the end of 2023. You head into 2024, and he ends up getting Tommy John surgery. So it's been a long road to recovery. He had some rehab starts in the minors, built him up to this point, and the Marlins felt comfortable enough to say, you know what, this is the day. This is his 2025 debut against the Pittsburgh Pirates, whose offense isn't great. It was a really good matchup for Eury Perez, but coming off of Tommy John, you know, you haven't pitched in almost 2 years. It's one of those situations in which expectations have to be limited, and you have to look at the situation and take everything with a grain of salt. Eury Perez was never going to go 7 innings in this game. You'd be hard pressed to find someone that expected him to go 6. I was expecting 5 innings max. His pitch count coming into this game was only 80 to 85 pitches. So they're going to take their time with him. They are going to just take care of one of their best young pitchers and somebody who can be a Cy Young winner in the future. The talent is that good. His final line in this game, 3 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He really got into trouble in the 3rd inning, in which the bases were loaded. He hadn't recorded an out. He does end up getting out of the inning, but he threw a ton of pitches, I believe north of 30. And at that point, it was just best Clayton McCullough decided to not leave him out there for the 4th inning and just end his night right there. So statistically, it wasn't great, right? But that's not the point. It was never about the stats for his first game. You're naturally going to have some rust, especially coming off of a career-altering injury and such a lengthy rehab and recovery. You know, and this is just step 1 of the process. You can't number one, you can't overreact to his first start or even his second start. This is a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. He's so incredibly young, and the Marlins clearly view him as an untouchable piece. He's not going anywhere. He is going to be a Marlin for a long time. It's okay. It's okay. That third inning, it was a walk, single, walk. That loaded the bases. And then a single and a bases loaded triple from Brian Reynolds that really got most of the damage done for the Pirates. They really wouldn't need anything else from their offense, although they did go on to tack on, let's see here, 6 more runs, 7 more runs. It was a lot, but the Pirates got the job done. Eury Perez, his day was done after 3. Here's the thing. The stuff looked electric, and just by the eye test, I was watching Eury Perez, those first 2 innings, the fastball is hitting 100 miles an hour. He's got a slider. I think the first at-bat of the game against O'Neal Cruz, it was a full count, and he threw that slider in a full count right at the bottom of the zone. It would have been called a strike. O'Neal Cruz swings right through it. It was just a beautiful pitch. And there were a lot of instances in which watching the game, I was just telling myself, that is electric. That is so good. The pitches that he throws, you can see why he was a top prospect. You can see why he had so much success when he came up to the big leagues a couple of years ago. And then, like I said, that third inning, he ran into trouble, and it started with command. He walked a couple of batters, but ultimately, he battled through. He did get through that inning. So after the bases loaded triple, which I think is pretty cool, he got a ground out and then 2 back-to-back strikeouts, a swinging strikeout and then a called strike 3. So he didn't lie back. He battled through and he got through the inning. He threw the fastball a ton in this one, about 50% of his 70 pitches were the 4-seam fastball. He threw it 35 times. And then also the slider, he threw 15 times, and the sinker only 10. The curve and changeup weren't really used. He threw the curve just 9 times, the changeup once, but that slider is nasty. The fastball, especially when he locates it well, it's so hard to hit. It has good life. It averaged 17 inches of induced vertical break. The stuff is there. The stuff is there. It's all about mechanics. It's all about slowing the game down, not letting it get to you. It looked like in that 4th inning in particular, that 3rd inning rather, he was rushing on the mound. He was just, I got to go. I got to get out of this. And it hurt him. The Pirates, they're a bad team, but they're major leaguers. This is a step up from any rehab start he's made over the last month or so. I mean, this is Major League Baseball. But Eury Perez is so talented that I am not concerned one bit with the results. The stuff was there. The velocity was there. He's back and he's healthy. And that's the most important thing. Unfortunately for the Marlins, one of their other stud pitchers is not healthy. Ryan Weathers has been placed on the 60-day injured list. He's going to be out for at least a couple of months. And it's really a brutal blow for this team. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. And they got a complete inventory. Over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands. You're going to find exactly what you need. It's easy to find on the website. And here's the best part. When they deliver, it's super fast. They do it from coast to coast. There's no major delays. It's great. If you need help at all with an order, they offer expert support and industry-leading service. You don't have to talk to robots. You're going to talk to a real person every time to answer all your questions. And if you're one of those professionals or you know somebody, a friend or a family member that's a trade professional, maybe encourage them or yourself to join their free Trade Master program because it offers exclusive perks such as a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of other skilled professionals are taking advantage, so now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. And you can use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. If you're an everyday listener, I appreciate you being part of the Locked On Marlins crew. And if this is your first time checking out Locked On Marlins, I encourage you, hit that subscribe button and just know, Monday through Friday, Locked On Marlins is the place to be for all the Marlins-related content. Ryan Weathers goes down with an injury. It's unfortunate, but something that he's really been battling with his career has been the injuries. And this season, he started out on the injured list. He goes down again after his most recent start against Tampa Bay. Of course, if you remember that Tampa Bay start, it was all messed up right from the get-go because he got hit in the head with a pitch, or not a pitch, but a throwdown from Nick Fortes right at the beginning of the game. He stayed in the game. He only went about 3 innings before getting removed, and the velocity was way down. And I guess they found he wasn't feeling right. They found something wrong because he's been diagnosed with a left lat strain, and he's been placed on the 60-day injured list. So he's not going to be pitching for a while. It's really unfortunate. I think Ryan Weathers, in terms of talent, I've talked about this before, he's right up there with Eury Perez and Sandy Alcantara as a potential all-star, potential Cy Young contender. I mean, he throws so hard. He's got such great stuff. But the question now, it inevitably turns to durability. The best ability is availability. And it's just so hard to watch a pitcher that's so talented not be able, to stay on the field, to go out there and stay on the mound. And that's what Ryan Weathers has to deal with. He's got a rehab. He's got to attack this rehab and avoid setbacks. That's the key, because I want to see Ryan back in the majors and pitching this season. Hopefully it's not too serious where once his recovery ends, he'll be back and better than ever. That's the goal. It's all about progression. It's all about development. This is one step back, but I have no doubt that Ryan is going to attack this and come back better than ever. In the meantime, though, it's a huge blow to the Marlins rotation. I talked about this on yesterday's show with Loud Miami Fan, in which we both said this is the best that the Marlins have as a rotation. Everybody is finally back. Sandy, Eury, Ryan Weathers, you have Edward Cabrera looking good. And then as soon as we record that episode, the next day, Ryan Weathers goes down on the injured list. So they're going to have to fill that rotation spot. A couple of names to look for. I don't think it's Connor Gillespie. He was optioned today as I record this on Monday. He's been optioned to AAA Jacksonville. Jansen Junk just pitched in relief in Monday's game. He's kind of a glorified starter in of itself because he comes in when the starters leave early and then pitches the majority of the game. This one, he went 4 innings, but he wasn't very effective. 5 earned runs. He only struck out 1 and gave up 9 hits. So Junk didn't really look good. The easy answer, though, Valente Belloso goes back into the rotation. And that's personally how I would handle it. Belloso has starters experience, and he's been quietly very effective for the Marlins. He's pitched really well over the last couple of years. And I know It's not the most glamorous stuff. He's not going to blow up the radar gun or, the stuff plus where you get the number grades. He's not going to have that. It's not going to be red on Savant, but that's fine because Valente knows how to pitch, and he's put himself in a situation to where when the Marlins need him, and they're going to need him, he's available. He pitched well enough this season to where he wasn't optioned. He instead was moved to the bullpen, and he's just kind of been there. He's providing a long reliever out of the pen. He can go multiple innings, and now he's going to find himself, I think, in a position to start. He has a career ERA of 3.58. That's across 18 starts, 22 games total. Those 4 starts out of relief all happened this year, by the way. And so in total this season, 34 and a third, and an ERA of 3.41. So he knows how to pitch. Beozo should be the guy to take Weathers' spot moving forward. He's just going to go out there every 5th day, prepare, and do his job. And I think a lot of you are going to be surprised at how effective he truly can be. Remember that start a couple of months ago when he shut down the Dodgers. I mean, he was dominant against one of the mightiest lineups in all of baseball. And he went 5 1/3 of shutout balls, striking out 7. So he knows how to pitch. Sometimes in baseball, you don't need throwers, you need pitchers. And I think Beozo can be that guy. He knows exactly where to place the ball. He doesn't have the velocity to get by with mistakes. He can't leave it over the heart of the plate. But if he attacks corners, he's going to be serviceable until Ryan Weathers returns. It's just the Marlins with the injuries going into this season. One of my keys to this year was avoiding the injury bug, and that hasn't been the case. Connor Norby started the season on the injured list. Jesus Sanchez, the same thing, injured list. You had the emergence of Griffin Conine at the beginning of the season, and then just as soon as he was going and he was getting national attention as one of the best rookies, at least to start the season, he goes down on the injured list. It's been tough. Ryan Weathers, now this is going to be his second stint on the injured list. Those are key players to development. You don't want to see young players miss extended periods of time when they would rather be up here and getting that development time, getting those opportunities, and showcasing what they have to be a major leaguer and be a part of the plans for the Marlins. It's really, really unfortunate. The Marlins as a whole, the last 20 plus years, have been very unfortunate. They haven't had a lot of success. And it makes me wonder, and this might be a joke, it might not be, but I want to bring this up. It's an interesting story. The curse of the burial ground. Are the Marlins cursed? That's coming up right after this. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Yes, sir. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. But that's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track your finances. You can track your spending. You can plan long-term goals. And for those of you who just like, spending money a lot, maybe you like going to baseball games like I do, or DoorDash, because I tend to do that as well, Monarch Money is the perfect app for you. You're going to know exactly how much you spend it. You don't have to worry about, different apps to juggle around. No, Monarch Money is the one place. If you have a partner, you have shared bank accounts, Monarch Money is perfect for that as well. You can track your personal account, you can track your shared account, and you can set your goals together on the app. and there's no stress involved. It's super easy to use. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's right, monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB. You're going to get half off your first year. Go check it out at monarchmoney.com. A reminder that Locked On Marlins isn't just on the YouTube channel, although if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It's also on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all the major podcast platforms out there. You can find Locked On Marlins, and you can stream Locked On Marlins wherever you may go. The curse of the burial ground. So I had a tweet that I saw from Elaine Alvarez on Twitter, and I just came across this. Shout out, Elaine. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. The Marlins won 2 World Series on cursed ground. He says, look up the Tequesta Indian burial ground. They found it in 85. So I did some digging. And the Tequesta Native American tribe were an ancient tribe that lived in the region of Southeast Florida, so the Miami area, present day, for 2,000 years. And in 1985, when the Miami Dolphins, of course, at this time, the Miami Marlins weren't even a thought, the Dolphins move into a new stadium, or they begin construction on a new stadium, which of course now is where the Dolphins currently play. They've had a bunch of different names, and that's where the Marlins started off their journey as a baseball team. That was their stadium. But this is really interesting, all right? So it's the curse of the Tequesta Native American burial ground. The Miami Dolphins won 2 Super Bowls while they were in the Orange Bowl. They move into this stadium. They haven't won a stadium since. The Miami Hurricanes, when they moved into the stadium, the Dolphin Stadium, which is, I believe, Hard Rock Stadium now, they haven't won anything of magnitude. Now, the Marlins, they started out playing in Hard Rock Stadium. They won 2 World Series. That was 22 years ago. That's the same amount of championships as the Dolphins have. And after that, they have had nothing. They haven't won anything. Just 2 playoff appearances, nothing to show for it. Are the Marlins cursed? It's a funny story, but there's some good points here. This is from the Miami New Times. It's an article that was written back in 2019. So in 1985, going back to the Dolphins, they lost to the Niners in the Super Bowl. And just a few months later, the Tequesta artifacts and remains were discovered on the land where the Dolphins now play. And the Marlins went on to play as well. So that was just a couple of months after the Dolphins' latest Super Bowl appearance. And then in December of that same year, they began construction. Since that year, that calendar year, 1985, like I said, the Dolphins never appeared in a championship. They have been a downtrodden franchise for the majority of those last, 40 years? If I'm doing math right? Yeah, of the last 40 years. The Marlins start off hot. They get those 2 championships. Remember, the Dolphins had those 2 world championships as well. Haven't won anything either. The Tequestas, they lived in the area for 2,000 years. 2 World Series, 2 Super Bowls. I don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but it's something fun to think about, the curse of the burial ground. Because if there's one thing I know, besides watching and loving the Miami Marlins, it's that you don't mess with Indian burial grounds. You just don't do it. Whether it is walking on them, taking things from them, or building stadiums on an ancient site, you really shouldn't mess with that at all. So I'm going to leave that out there. I thought it was really interesting. Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins is going to be pitching on Tuesday. I think it's a really good opportunity for him to carry the momentum he found in his last start against the Rockies into this one. The Pirates are not a barn burner of an offense. I know it may seem like that because they put up 10 on Monday's game, but realistically, they shouldn't be scoring that many runs as well. Or again, Sandy Alcantara is the type of pitcher that when he gets into a role, he can shut down any lineup. And I know I'm saying that in the big year of 2025 where he struggled, but I really do think that his last start against Colorado has given him more confidence, and he's going to perform very well again. That's my prediction. I don't expect a Sandy struggle. If he does struggle against the Pirates, then I think we're kind of back to square one, and we just have to reevaluate everything at this point because all signs are pointing to positivity and progression. We don't want to see regression. That's the worst case scenario, is having your one good start of the season essentially come against the Rockies. You don't want that. I want to see just 6-7 innings of Sandy Alcantara baseball. That's what it has to be. A lot of people are tuning out Sandy Alcantara as being an effective pitcher. I think it's still in there. Obviously, he believes it. The Marlins believe it. They need this. They need this from Sandy. And I think that if it doesn't happen, then I'm going to be very worried about the remainder of this season. And I think that you can't consider trading him if he can't get into a rhythm. You probably have the best two starts to get back on track, the Rockies and the Pirates. You pass step 1 with the Rockies. Can you pass step 2 against the Pirates? We'll see. I'm not going to classify it as must-watch baseball. I am going to classify it as must-watch baseball because every start from Sandy Alcantara, through the good, through the bad, through the ugly, is must-watch baseball if you're a diehard Marlins fan. That's going to do it for today's edition of Locked On Marlins. For your second listen of the day, go check out Locked On MLB Game Night. It's over on the Locked On MLB channel where they do recaps of every game that's happened during that day of play. It's pretty cool. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay locked on, and let's go fish.